Experts in Britain are warning that a generation of young people may never be able to own their own homes because of a grave housing crisis. Britain has a shortfall of over 4 million homes, the worst record in Europe. And pressure is growing to build in England's rolling countryside where for decades construction has been outlawed. Special correspondent Malcolm Brabant reports from East Chiltington in southern England.
The bells signal that ages-old rural tranquility is under threat from Britain's housing crisis. The rustic landscape inherited by this congregation may soon be paved over to accommodate a small new town. Kelly Penfold, born and raised here, has joined the local resistance movement.
Personally, I'd like more housing because I'd like more affordable housing, but not at the expense of concreting over all of this. I think there has to be a compromise somewhere, because once this is gone, that's it. We can't get it back, we can't replace it, we can't get back all of these trees. You know, planting a new little sapling isn't going to replace a 200 or 300-year-old oak tree.
The farmland slated for urbanisation is on the edge of a national park, visited by millions each year. The proposed town will comprise at least 3,000 new homes.
The idea at the moment is that where we're stood now here and where this existing track is, this would probably form the high street and the sort of the centre point of the new settlement.
Damon Turner's development company claims to champion the construction of attractive, self-sustaining communities where people's needs are no more than a 15-minute walk away.
This is roughly where we've identified the secondary school would be located, but overall it's a small market town with food and farming at its heart.
Detailed plans aren't yet available, but this similar-sized town is an inspiration for the developers. It's Poundbury, 125 miles to the west, the pet architectural project of King Charles, an advocate of traditional design. The land being fought over is owned by Eton, one of Britain's most prestigious boarding schools, with annual fees of $54,000. Eton prides itself on teaching leadership and numbers 20 British Prime Ministers among its alumni. Eton is a bastion of the British establishment. Its critics believe this place perpetuates the inequalities of the British class system because the children of the elite come here and are taught how to exercise and maintain power. The development in this parish should yield huge profits, infuriating campaign leader Mark Mounier. Eton doesn't pay tax because it's a non-profit or charity.
If they were really a charity, you know what they'd do? They'd give it to people, they'd give it away, they'd rewild it for society. Or even if they had to build on it, give it to people. How many homes could you just give away? And it wouldn't cost them a penny, because they're a charity and that's what they're supposed to do. But they won't do that because it's not about helping houses, it's about making money for the people that are already incredibly privileged and wealthy in our society.
Eton says its charitable works include subsidising pupils from poorer backgrounds and new schools in deprived parts of Britain. Eton's Director of Development is Justin Nolan.
I think all responsible charities that have ambitions to do more work need to find sources of funding from a variety of different places. Well, that takes money that goes beyond the fees that we charge.
The developers hope this video will help win the approval of the local planning authority.
I don't think myself or any of my friends and contemporaries expect to be able to buy a property in our lifetimes. It's pretty impossible to buy on a regular wage.
Besides being expensive, much of Britain's housing stock is old and tired. Most experts say this overcrowded island needs to build a medium-sized city every year for decades to come.
We've got to build more homes, not just to alleviate inequality and to address these social challenges, but also to get the economy going as well.
Planning expert Anthony Breach warns that an entire British generation may be denied their version of the American dream of a home with a picket fence.
That route is now really closed off for pretty much every young member of British society. So there's millions of young people who are denied the opportunities available to their parents and who aren't able to move on to the next stage of their life and enjoy better quality housing and cheaper housing as they get older.
The housing crisis is becoming Britain's most important domestic issue. With an election less than 18 months away, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is locking horns with opposition leader Keir Starmer.
So now what we've seen is the highest number of first-time buyers in 20 years, Mr. Speaker. That is twice the number that the Labour Party ever managed.
He must be the only person in the country who thinks that enough houses have been built in the last 13 years. And whether it's those dreaming of getting the keys to their first home or those already with mortgages, the ambitions of families across the country have been crushed by his failing Tory government.
If elected, Labour says it'll lift a long-standing ban on construction on the Green Belt, a ring of countryside around London. Centre for Cities has identified enough Greenbelt sites close to railway stations where 1 million new homes could be built, including Hildon Borough, 30 miles from the capital.
We think that's a crucial starting point where the infrastructure's lined up, the environmental benefits are really clear, the climate benefits are really obvious, but releasing land from the Greenbelt, kind of breaking that big taboo on building in the Greenbelt is really essential if we want to tackle this.
Kelly Penfold runs her online cake business from a tiny rented apartment. Home ownership is beyond her means.
It's very difficult if you're a young person and you're on a low income to be able to afford to live where possibly you grew up. My only chance of getting my own home was to go onto the council social housing list. That took 5 years.
Kelly Penfold's dog walk takes her past a small social housing project. She has this question: how many affordable homes promised by the developers will be in a similar category?
We want to come up with a model that works for local people here, people who are really struggling to get onto the housing ladder or even to be able to rent because of the 4 million homes that we're short of in this country.
The future rests with the local planning authority, which has to decide whether the region's historic market towns will share the landscape with a new neighbour.
What we're very committed to is making sure with a strong design code that this community actually does fit into the landscape. It'll undoubtedly be a change to the landscape, but we don't think it will be as destructive as some people fear.
But first, Eton must overcome the powerful so-called NIMBY lobby. Not in my backyard. Are you a NIMBY?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And you should be grateful that I'm a NIMBY because I'm the one that's protecting these green fields for you and your family. Once this is all bulldozed over, it's gone forever. And we don't want to turn into LA and just a sprawling metropolis of the southeast of England.
This is a battle for the soul of national traditions. An Englishman's home has always been his castle in a green and pleasant land. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Malcolm Brabant in East Chiltington.